You don't have an intro.
Sure.
Oh my.
Like every episode,
Mm-hmm.
right? I always ask them like just before we start, what's the intro? How are we starting? How are we starting? Yeah. This
That's
is
the intro.
episode 4, and I still don't have an intro.
That's the intro.
Exactly.
So you know what you're going to do.
Yeah. I feel like I've done the intro already.
Yeah, that's the intro.
Budashni is a medical writer who focuses on simplifying complex health related topics for the general public. She has written for the likes of WebMD, Very Well Health, Forbes Health, among many others. She's an ardent mentor to aspiring writers. She's my very good friend. Please welcome Amaka Etudo to the show. Amaka, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'm really glad that you're here.
I'm also glad I'm here
All
too.
right, so like we do for every guest, the first question that we ask is for you to introduce yourself to the audience so they know who you are. That introduction that I just gave is just a teeny little bit of what you do. I only
Okay.
states one part of what you do. So, yeah.
Okay. Um, I am Margaret. If I'm
Ha.
Margaret, just to business, it's Margaret, please. I'm Margaret and I'm a freelance medical writer. I've been doing this for almost half a decade. So Um, I've worked with tons of brands, Forbes, WebMD, Very Well Health, Inito, BioCoach, Fitbit. The list goes on, top 10. But I decided to last year, start teaching people how to do these things, especially Nigerians. My focus was on Nigerians because I found out that a lot of Nigerians, my friends
Yeah.
in this space that are doing these things, most of them are focused on how to get bigger. They're not actually focused on how to carry people along.
Okay.
And there are just two, like when it comes to the writing industry in Nigeria, there are two types of people. The ones who have understood how to get international clients, they've made it, and the sectioners on Fiverr and Upwork. That's just how it is. So it's saddening that people that are on Fiverr and Upwork, they want to do more. Some of them have the potential. Some of them have what it takes to actually, become better. But no one is guiding these people to do these things properly. There's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of, um, I know some people who I have told, go and ask this person certain question before I started teaching because I was also reluctant. I know some people I referred these beginners to and they didn't help them. Literally, they just like cost them. So it pained me that I can actually do this thing. Like
Yeah.
the person that even taught me, there was a time when I used to give him like 10 students every week because I started doing well. And I'm this kind of person that in as much as I like my own space, I like to do my own things myself. I'm not that talkative-ish,
Yeah.
but I'm on social media. So I was on LinkedIn, I was posting these things. So people knew that, oh, she knows what she's doing well. And it's easier when you see someone who is attaining these heights. It's easier for you to say, oh, if for instance, Forbes can hire her, say Nigerian in Nigeria with me, the chances of me getting it is also high. So people started to come to me to teach, and that's when I was referring them to my coach. And then um, I think it was just one person that reached out to me on LinkedIn and asked again. And this time I wanted to refer her, but the thing that happened was she came from the angle of she wants to optimize her LinkedIn profile. She wants to become better on LinkedIn, that she's already a writer.
Yeah.
Like she was in the finance industry, crypto and all those stuff. And she just wants to optimize her profile and, become better. And these were the things that even propelled me to even start being a LinkedIn coach.
Okay.
So because of what I tried, I started to do it for others. What I'm trying, I'm just teaching you. There's no other thing inside. So for her, last year, February, she came. She was my first student then, the only one I had. I wasn't even posting it like, oh, I'm teaching. I was just like, oh, I'm helping a client to, coach them on optimizing their profile. So I told her we had a couple of classes and then it worked. Like, I mean, it's easier when I do something for myself. If it doesn't work, nobody needs to know.
Yeah. True.
But then I told her these things. She started getting likes, reactions, engagement. She was complaining that she was not getting seen on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And after applying what I told her, she started getting seen. And from there, because I know also part of what I told her was how to pitch clients. And so from there, she started pitching clients. And guess what? The one that blew my mind, because she started getting jobs, was that she started working with Investopedia that pays like 500 plus in dollars per article.
Oh.
So like I was mind blown. I was like, oh my God, if I can help somebody in this Nigeria to earn more than $500 per an article, like I can do it for so many other people. So that was what gave birth to the Writing Hackers Academy. Because you said in the intro, I'm a medical writer. That's a brand. Then me teaching people is another thing entirely. So I don't just teach medical writing, I teach anybody who wants to learn how to monetize their writing as freelancers in Nigeria. Doesn't mean that I do not help Nigerians outside Nigeria. It's just that you have a softer landing when you come to me, because I'm not just looking for students anywhere. I know who I'm helping. I literally designed my website, the whole coaching platform, to support them. And the thing is that when you are teaching Nigerians, you find out that some of them are not really privileged to have laptops initially. So my course is tailored to, if you have a phone, you can do something. I don't want there to be an obstacle, that will stop you from earning. It shouldn't be. And I also don't encourage people to go to Upwork, because I feel like it's like a black hole. You enter inside with this promise that, oh, I'm going to earn something. And then you're just there. And you don't have this, I want to come out. You're just like, share is just $10 they'll give me. That's 10K. And then you keep on. But then imagine a world where you grow your brand yourself. You interact with clients and tell someone that, look, you're going to pay me $100, $200, $300, depending on the position of the brand, how big they are, their terms. Some pay, and I know from experience, $1 per word. Yeah. So it's something that I know that these people cannot get these things when they're on these platforms, right? So it's what really helped me. It pushed me, and the Writing Hackers Academy has been going on since last year, March till now. I'm currently training like 24 students, and that will be the last batch for the year. Then next year we continue again. So it's batch. It's not rolling. Yeah. Enrollment isn't anytime you come. So it's when I say I'm going to teach. If I do not want to teach more than twice in a year, you have to fit in within the time slot, because I also have different projects I'm trying to resurrect, and I cannot just, in as much as I want to help Nigerians, I can't forget my own dreams. Yeah, your own personal stuff. And just dump it because So, but yeah, it's not just Gloria. Her name is Gloria. Shout out to you, Gloria. If you're watching this, you are the reason why the Writing Hackers Academy, exists, because if you hadn't encouraged me, I wouldn't have gone the extra mile. But yeah, so this whole thing, I hope that tomorrow, in quotes, it becomes even bigger than it is. Not just content writing that I'm teaching, different kinds of writing that people are willing to pay for. Yeah. Yeah, but then I just know that there are not a lot of, in fact, it's even now that, that time when I started in 2020, there were a lot of classes, there were a lot of people that were teaching all this online stuff. You see a lot of 2K per class, 5K per class. And when I came out with my class is 25K, a lot of people were like, are you crazy? This is the pandemic period. This is like the post-pandemic episode where classes are like 5K. If you really know what you're doing, 10K. How can you just walk out and say 25K? But I had the receipts. Yeah. I had Gloria. I could use that girl. She was like bringing. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how you can feel what I'm feeling. She was coming to me every week with a new client. Look, this person just reached out to me. It was amazing. So when I brought out these testimonials, it wasn't her. After her, I started to train a lot of people. So they started bringing theirs too. People started to buy. Yeah. So it was easy.
Yeah.
I didn't have to talk too much. Today, the Writing Hackers Academy has doubled in tuition. And the last cohort, which, I took in September, I told you 24 students, double the price. And no one is arguing because
They know the value that
they
get
know
to.
it's me.
Yeah.
I'm there all the time. So I will answer you, I will do videos, I will do one-on-one. That's why the fact that it's a group thing. I will take you personally if you need help, So it's something that I'm really proud of. I used to tell my friend in 2020, during 2021, I used to say that when I graduate from school, I will start teaching people how to write. So I'm still living in the dream. I feel like one day I'm going to wake
And you
up.
even started earlier because I know you're not done with school. So.
I can't believe that I'm like, sometimes if I'm driving, I'm like, all these movies you watch where someone just wakes up and everything disappears. I feel like someone is yet to wake me up. Like, this isn't real. I'm serious. I'm really grateful to God. It's not,
Yeah,
this wasn't the plan.
I like.
No.
I would say that was a very long answer to your introduction, right? But it tells me one thing. It tells me one thing that you are very passionate about your brand,
Yeah.
and that you are your brand, and that's why to introduce yourself, you have to kind of explain all these
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it's an amazing one. It's an amazing one. So, what sparked in you that made you want to start writing? So we'll try and touch on the different things that you do, right? So let's start with writing.
Okay.
What sparked in you that what was your earliest influence that made you want to start writing, and how did you start writing?
Okay, so between me and you,
Okay.
I would, want to say that I had a passion, but between me and you that's watching this thing, I was broke. See, one thing I know that I did 1 year after my business took off and I was starting to see the results, I went to First Bank. I can't forget. I went to First Bank and I got the statement of account for February, March, April to settle the day I started, because that day that I started was only 100 naira. I had to my name. 100 naira. That was when they sent us back from school and my pocket money had finished. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be this fine girl I know I want to be if I'm still begging my daddy for money. He won't answer me. And that period, COVID, a lot of things. So there was no hope of going back to school.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell my dad I want? Which school are you going back to that?
True.
Your mommy will cook food for you. It's okay now. So there's a roof over your head, there's water, there's basic stuff. You don't really need that money that you get when you're going back to school. And I didn't see it working. I felt like I was going to. So I had to do something ASAP. And initially it started in 2019, December.
Okay.
So my story is always 2020, but I had the intention. And then the idea was to help people, no offense to UK guys, but UK people, but to help them to do their homework, because I felt like they were lazy. So I was like, okay, how am I going to tap into this network? Because I don't know if you know of Chegg, CHEGG. There is this online space where if you type any maths question or physics, they will just give you an answer. Okay. But for you to access the full solutions, you have to subscribe. So I was like, why not do something like this where I can answer people's maths? I was good at maths, physics and chemistry, all these kind of questions, just answer them and earn something for it. That was what introduced me into this desire to be in the online space, right? And then shortly after that was December 2019. Okay. Then in February 2020, I saw a flyer from my friend's classmates, both in Unilag, that he's teaching, the person that taught me, he's teaching freelance writing for 3 days, but he was teaching Upwork and, Fiverr and all those things. But I didn't know what was Upwork or Fiverr. I just saw make money from writing, jumped at it. I was like, make money, not even from writing. Just jumped at it. I'm like, okay, this is what I've been looking for. And I decided to give it a shot. And, the rest is history, because if I didn't see that flyer, I might still be
Probably
waiting
wouldn't
for
have
check to answer me. I don't think I would have, gotten that easy access
access
into,
to.
and COVID opened a lot of opportunities. People were
Yeah.
looking to hire remotely, so it was really easy that period. But if I didn't have the desire in 2019, I don't think I would have, caught the wave in 2020.
So what was the journey like? To Forbes, to WebMD,
Um,
to Very Well Health. I mean, these are big names. These are very big names. These
Sometimes
are
I don't even, if Twitter, LinkedIn, they tell you to give a
yeah,
bio. I don't like adding all those companies because I feel I'm not qualified to be on these pages. Like, these brands, it's not ghostwriting. If you type Margaret Etudo,
yeah.
you will see Forbes, WebMD, you see my name. They have a page for me on their page. So um, it started 2020 was when I actually got Very Well Health.
Okay.
That was like 8 months after that. When I tell people that when I finished learning how to write, I was still trying to figure out. That was when I got admission directly into pharmacy. So I was still trying to figure out school. And then there was the class, the writing class. I wasn't really focused on the writing class. Well, I got focused when they all sent us home for COVID. And then after the class, it took me a while. I really struggled with Facebook groups and some certain clients that were scamming me and all those certain things. But after that period, I got a couple of jobs. There was a time when I did a resume writing job for a particular client. These were the things that really strengthened. I feel like all these things I went through, they built the Writing Actors Academy without me even knowing. Because
Yeah.
in my academy, I don't just teach you how to write. I teach you how to make money from it, pitching, resume writing, to write your own resume for your own clients
Yeah.
if they ask. So these were the things that really helped me. And then after the resume writing clients, that was when Very Well Health came. It was just a Twitter post. So I just saw a Twitter post saying that Very Well Health is looking to get writers. Asked, would you like to hire from internationally? And they were like, there's no problem. So I sent an email, and yeah,
And the rest is history.
I got the job.
That's actually really cool. So I think I met you in 2021.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
in
So I met Amaka
2019.
in 2021, and I was fresh out of university, Bowen University, when I met Amaka. And I think it was on Noma's birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah, and some reason we just vibed. We just
yeah,
vibed, and then we got talking. We got talking, and I got to discover that, oh, I think at the time you were working for WebMD.
yes.
So I said, I saw her on LinkedIn, and I was like, and I saw she's working for WebMD. Wow, and this is me, unemployed, unemployed graduate, right? And I was like, okay. And I remember we had a conversation and around earning internationally, and I want to say this publicly, right? Amaka really inspired me to want to be better and earn internationally. And I remember, I think we had that conversation in September or October 2021. And in December, when I got my offer from um, my then company, that I don't want to mention their name, right? I remember I texted you. I texted Amaka and I was like, oh, Amaka, I've gotten my first dollar paying job. You get, so yeah, Amaka has been,
I remember.
yeah, she was a big inspiration to me, because it was mind blowing to see someone so young still in school. I think you were in 200 level or 300 level at the time.
200.
200 level at the time, working for WebMD. I'm like, wow, wow, like what am I doing with my life? Really, So I took inspiration from you, and it's been amazing. And then I see her post on TikTok, I see her post on WhatsApp and all that, and I'm like, I could do better. Oh. I could really, really do better with my life. Really, I could do better with my life. Wait, what were some personal challenges that you faced um, going into writing, and then ultimately when you started um, separating these different ventures?
I think the biggest was, well, when I started, I got a lot of negative feedback from Nigerians. That's the thing is, when you see people who you are looking up to, like, oh, this person is doing well and all of that, and then you reach out to them and then you start to get just different responses. Some people literally go out of their way to insult you and all of that.
Yeah.
But I know that that was like one of my biggest challenge, and it was easy for me to boycott because I started to find real people. That's why I really love LinkedIn. That's why I preach LinkedIn. I started finding people on LinkedIn that I could count on, and it wasn't more than like it wasn't up to 5. Do you get, like, I could
True.
say, I could ask questions. I mean, there was one connection made on LinkedIn, Ayo. If you're watching this, I'm really grateful for having met you on LinkedIn. You are amazing. I mean, Ayo really helped. He has always gone out of his way to help me. Some of the jobs that I got was due to his recommendations or
Yeah.
him looking over something that I've written to help me to put it together before I send it to the client and all of that. So if I didn't meet these people, I don't know how I would have been able to navigate this world where I really don't know anything. I just know how to package myself, but how do you know these people were already here before you? So you need someone that will at least show you the way ahead. So um, that was one thing I knew I needed to find ASAP because it was a big problem. Sincerely, if you're starting something and there's no one telling you anything, it's a big problem, which is what my students don't face because
You are always
coach,
there.
you
Yeah.
would answer. And then um, aside from, the challenge with getting people to kind of talk to, like people who you can share problems with,
Yeah.
like you didn't get a response from this client when you sent an email, what do you do? Can you look over? Apart from that, I don't think there was anything much else I'll call a challenge, except the highs and lows, like, people saying that they don't want to work with you for reasons as flimsy as your location.
True.
It's really, that's like one of the major problems for Nigerians, freelance writers in Nigeria, because
Freelancers generally in Nigeria, even
yeah,
tech people in Nigeria. Well, COVID did help a
yeah,
bit, but yeah, there's still a lot of stigma. I won't call it stigma, but the moment you're in Africa, Nigeria particularly, I can only speak because we're in Nigeria.
mm-hmm.
There's that oh, we're sorry, we can't hire you. And I understand that sometimes it's because of their laws.
Yeah,
So the laws don't allow them hire outside the country or the continent, right? But sometimes it's that barrier. As long as that barrier exists, yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
still
feel like it's sometimes stigma because there's a particular brand that I work with, and I'm not going to mention their name, that sent all of us in Nigeria one email, just attached our email inside that. I saw my mates.
so they didn't even have the courtesy to like do it one by one person.
No, I saw all of us there. We all received the same email, and they terminated our contract due to geographic location. That's it. That was it.
Very funny experience. I remember my friend who he had gotten to the last stage of a company interview and stuff, and why he didn't get the job was they said he had poor internet connection.
That has happened to me too. That has been one of my challenges. MTN is,
No, so sorry, it wasn't even that he had poor internet connection. They said that because he's in Nigeria, they don't trust that he has the required bandwidth to work on the job. Apparently, I think they needed his internet speed to be at about over 200 Mbps per
yeah,
second,
but there are
something like that.
tests that you can send to them, reports that won't lie. So it's a matter of you just running the test with the internet connection, and then it
Yeah.
would you
But at
print
the
it.
time, I don't think it was very popular to have that such speed.
Oh,
I think it's now that we are
yeah, and with the Starlink stuff and
approaching.
all of that, it's
Hmm.
really easy for you to,
I like Elon Musk for that,
yeah.
for starting with Nigeria as like one of the main African countries to set up Starlink, because now um to some degree he has also somewhat solved the problem of international hiring in relation to internet bandwidth. At least if I tell you I'm using Starlink, for example, as an international employer, you would know that, oh, okay,
Exactly.
the
You don't
internet
need
should be
to.
really, really good.
So yeah, I believe that that has also been a problem. Internet connection, it can be really frustrating, especially if there is nothing you can really do. But I always find a way around it.
Yeah.
I know how many opportunities that may have slipped by because of that, but it doesn't mean that there is no way out.
Yeah. So why health? Why did you start writing in health? I mean, I'm not sure the flyer your friend posted was in health.
Nah.
It wasn't. So why did you pick health as your niche?
Well, safe to say that I'm studying pharmacy, so everything kind of like, and why am I studying pharmacy, medicine, all this is what I'm interested in doing, right?
Okay.
I'm interested in the health space. I want to help people. I find it natural to prescribe something or to tell someone, oh, you are having a headache because of something you did. It's something that I don't need to say, let me check. I'm not saying it from the angle of I know everything. I'm saying it from the angle of I always almost have a clue to what is wrong with you. So it's easy for me to communicate that in words. If you are, there's one thing I've noticed as a freelance writing coach is that if you are in a niche where it doesn't come natural to you, don't have any passion, it's be difficult for you to learn the lingua. It's be difficult for you to speak in the way that those people there talk.
Yeah.
And then research becomes a burden. You start to produce poor content and no one wants to work with you. So,
Yeah. I want to ask as well, how so based on what you just said, how has school influenced your writing? So as you're learning in school,
mhm.
right? Is it improving the way you write? Is your understanding of the topics taught in school increasing your understanding of what you're doing and helping you write better, or it's probably you and your research?
I feel like it's the other way around. So what I'm doing in my business as a medical writer is helping me in school because sometimes you don't know where the business drives you to. Sometimes you might be doing a DNA research and then you learn something that tomorrow your lecturer comes in and talks about. So it makes sense more because when you were researching, it was kind of like fun. You were doing it to relax and just, get the work out there, get the people to understand and get money. So, that's
Yeah.
like an, incentive and all of that. So by the time you get taught the thing in class, it sticks better. So I feel like the medical writing helps me more in pharmacy because I'm learning so many new things, right? And it's helping me to understand better what I'm taught. I mean, there was a time when I was to pitch WebMD, and it was what my lecturer said in class about a particular concept, hydrogel, and medication and all. I just packaged that whole lecture in a very short email, sent it to my editor. He bought the idea. I happened to feature the lecturer then in the article, and they were so pleased to be on WebMD, and I got my money.
Yeah.
So they work hand in hand. Medical writing helps me to understand pharmacy better, and pharmacy sometimes it helps me to get what I would write about. So yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get these opportunities? It's not every day you get to see someone who has worked in these places. If
Yeah.
I'm in tech, right? So it's like you've worked in Apple, Google, and Facebook, right? And
Okay.
you're doing this at such a young age. You're not even done with school. So how did these opportunities come about? Were you referred? Did you just see a post? And you already said for very
Yeah,
well
for
health,
a
you
very well health
saw
on
that on Twitter,
Twitter.
right? But how did you see how did the other opportunities come about?
Okay, so it's a mixture of what I see versus who I reach out to, and maybe sometimes referrals. So for most of them, it was who I reached out to, and that was LinkedIn purely. So what I teach, personalized invites, you send messages to people you're not connected with, telling them why you would be a great fit for their company and who you've worked with. So the more companies I added to my skills in my bank, the more people I had worked with, the more it was easier for me to get the job. Like imagine going to a healthline editor and telling them you just finished writing for Forbes and you send the article and your name is there. I don't think there's much that needs to be said except when do you start? So that's how it's kind of like went for me. I was just but it wasn't easy. Oh God. There was one particular editor for Healthline. She was tired of me because before I eventually got the job through another editor, I used to bug her like almost every 2 weeks or every market day that does she need any writer? And it got to a point I got the message and I stopped. And then Along the
She
line,
sent a message that you were bugging her.
I felt like she was being nice not to say it to me, but I think it would have made sense for me to just stop at that point before she blacklists me on Gmail, and then I'm not able to send messages to anyone that has Healthline,
Yeah.
which isn't good for business. But then um, along the line, I saw Healthline that wanted to hire writers that same year, so it was really easy. I just pitched, and the way I do it is if I see a post from Healthline or someone working in Healthline that they're looking for a writer, I don't just go to the website and put a resume. In fact, most of the jobs that I've gotten, I never submitted the whole resume thing. Wait, no. What I do is I send the personalized, the email or the text that's maybe just 3 lines, telling you how I feel that I can help you. And, then they will tell you to send your 3 clips, 3 articles or things you've written, best 3 to their email. You send it, then they send how much they pay. You say that's fine, then they send contract, and then they give you your first assignment. So that's just how it has been going. I reach out to people on LinkedIn, the editors, 1 editor per company, and you get the job. Sometimes what I do if I do not know how to, like there was a particular time how I got in with Fitbit. I don't know anybody in Fitbit, but I knew someone on LinkedIn who was working for Pfizer. She was
Okay.
writing for Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company. So I asked her, she was in Nigeria, we're both in Nigeria. I think she studied law, but she kind of loves health writing. So it was really easy for me. I just went to her LinkedIn DM and just told her that, hey, I have been following you for a while. I see that you write for Pfizer. I would like if you could put in a word for me or give me a contact. And she was like, yeah, cool. She just gave me a contact to an agency who connected her with Pfizer. And it was the same said agency that connected with me, Fitbit.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I didn't know Fiverr. I don't know anyone in Pfizer. I don't know anyone in Fitbit. But because I connected with my fellow colleague on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
she put in a word for me. So that's another way, getting people to put in words for you, or reaching out to people directly. It doesn't matter if it's a CEO, just make sure that it's worth their time, and I hope later to come back to this podcast and, say something with respect to reaching out to these top CEOs, VP.
So I want to understand, what are you telling these guys that I'm not telling them?
No, the thing is timing. It's not necessarily what I'm telling them. I don't have anything special I'm telling anybody. I feel like my pitches are the worst pitches ever, compared to some other people who claim to.
Person we don't work for. Now after you don't get the job, you will feel like say your pitch don't make sense.
Okay, so I feel like they're not really, because I don't know. I still feel like till tomorrow that I don't know this thing called code emailing, but I try and I tell my students what I do, and it works for some of them. But the thing is the timing. When I see that, there are some specific times of the year that people are hiring, like September, October,
Yeah.
January, and all of that. And there's some times where it's just sheer luck that you get the job. But apart from that period, it's also when the company says they're looking for people, or when the company gets funding. Like if you follow some of this industry news, you know when a company gets funding, and that's the perfect time to strike. That means that they have money for marketing or all these kind of things, and they can push into your project. But if, for instance, at that period of time, that's not the time that period doesn't meet you when you want to apply, you can always just look at open roles. So it's easier. I mean, this whole thing I'd say about sending emails to people, pitching and all, it's not all the time that I send messages to these editors or the person in charge of hiring that they answer me. Sometimes they'll tell you to go and post a resume on their website. And I won't do it. I'd rather let the job go, because I believe that everybody is going to that website to drop their resume.
Yeah.
What are the chances they are going to pick me? But the ones who say, oh, great, send an email, I always most times get a yes. All right. The only time I get no is when
You're working the show.
the only times when I get a no is if maybe due to location. And the way I have started curbing that is, before I even get your email, I'll tell you that I'm an international writer.
Yeah.
I've stated it. So if you're not going to answer me, it's better for me. If you see that and you send me your email, I will still ask you, do you hire internationally? They'll say, yes, they have writers in Kenya. Then I'm okay. Kenya and Nigeria were close, just distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that's okay. I have hope to pitch, and then from there. But it's not easy. I know how many times I pitched. I think I pitched Forbes for like 1 year before I got the job. A lot of people don't have that patience to follow up.
And keep
I
on
kept on
so
trying different people.
consistency.
Yeah, so it's not just go to Forbes, send them a message. No, sometimes you have to work for it for a long time, and sometimes it comes easy. Like WebMD, I didn't know the editor for WebMD. So how I got WebMD was accidental actually. I was going for Medscape, the brother site to WebMD, and Medscape was like, "Oh, great! I love your writing, but it's not for us. It's for WebMD. Let me send your work to WebMD." So they sent my work, and they sent me money. I didn't know anybody in WebMD, but I'm really thankful to the contact from Medscape that just felt that I was good enough not to be let off. So yeah, that was how that one happened. So it's basically just, if I'm not referred to by some people, it's either I reach out personally or I see a post on Twitter and just send an email or DM.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, so Albert Einstein said something. Yeah, I think it was Albert Einstein. If you cannot explain something simply, then you don't understand it. Right? And I think that is what you have always tried to do, explain the complex problems in health, the things that you try to break down the big grammar, into simpler terms so that people like us can read and say, oh, okay, this is exactly what's going on, right? And, there's the saying that one of the best ways to get better at something you do is to teach it. So how has teaching others improved your writing, or it doesn't have an effect? Or
it does a massive effect. And the reason why I say that is because you see, sometimes when you're writing, it's just like everything is the same. And imagine a case study. I know the time when I was working with Nito, articles where like I was writing like maybe 2 articles every week, and it was I didn't have any time to do much. I didn't have any time to look at other things. I didn't have any time to notice any trends. Like in social media marketing, there are certain things that, maybe when it comes to Instagram reels and all of that, there are some trends, there's some updates that you shouldn't be focusing on. So I didn't have time to start noticing other content marketing strategies, other content writing ways, and other kind of writing. I was just focused on what I was assigned to do. But you see, when you are teaching people, you don't want to give your students half-baked information, right?
Yeah.
So it makes me to always be on my toes. It makes me to always, oh wait, LinkedIn has stopped allowing this. I have to go and tell them. I'm always looking. I'm learning more than I would have if I was just relaxed that, oh, it's just to write something for them. I wouldn't be pushed to go and know more. But now it's easier for me because I'm always updating my class. Some of the reasons why I don't have a rolling class, like from January to December, you can enroll anytime, is because I want to have breaks where I look into my school and find out what is not good again, what is outdated information. We take it out, replace it with what is in, so that the students get what they're supposed to get. So it has helped me. Teaching has helped me to be better and know more than an average content writer who is just churning out words to meet up to word count. That's what I'll say.
Okay. So, of course, your writings are published by the company that you're working for at the time. And so, do you have access to like the data that comes with your posts?
I do not.
So you don't know how many people have read them. You can't categorically say, or is there, you personally, is there a way you're able to measure the impact that your writing has on a certain, or on the readers?
Except if I use SEO tools to find out the statistics of the particular article.
Okay.
And know how it's ranking, how many people see it, the number and volume of people who are searching for that keyword, and the place the company ranks for it. Except if I do that on my own, I don't think there is any way, because I went into the content writers, position in most of these companies. So it's not like you are given access to see the results. But if you ask, sometimes I ask for feedback from these editors and they tell me that, wow, your writing is fantastic, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And if they have any problem, they would always just send you, these are the things
Do you
that
read the comments on your posts?
yes, I do.
And what are the comments like?
Do you mean comments on my articles?
Yeah,
or
on your articles.
Oh no, most of these things are health, like, because they are big brands.
Yeah.
Most times when you see health articles that have comment section, they're for people who are really just starting up. Most of these established brands like Medical News Today, Healthline, Forbes, they don't really have a comment section. You just come and take the information and go. So there's nothing like I'm coming here to type anything you get. So yeah, I don't think there any of them have any comment section. It's just giving the patient information, maybe selling something through an affiliate program or, their own personal service, but it's nothing more than that.
Okay, so what led? I think you already spoke earlier while giving your introduction, about how you started um recording videos for LinkedIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask this question. When you started posting these videos, and did you feel like scam? And what I mean by that is, you know how you see people, so like I personally, I don't like people when they say, oh, these are the 5 things wrong with your CV. These are you have to do this. You don't have, because I've done my CV. I've done everything. I followed your 5 steps. I followed this one 20 steps. I've used resume worded to work on my CV. It remained to pay for top CV. you know, but like, do you ever feel, whether ever negative comments like that, where people made you feel like you were probably just saying what every other person who is a LinkedIn coach, or allow me to use that term, LinkedIn coach, was, right? And personally, I would have felt the same about you, but I know you. So I know, say, no, evidence, this. So, and that's my own bias. So if anybody wants to say, oh, I have this person that teaches this and this, I can't vouch for anybody, but I can vouch for you because I know you, right? So were there any comments or
Well, there weren't any comments because I was really just about nobody on social media, in the sense that I never blow. The only people they used to drag are people that have blown. When
true?
there is no comments in your comment section and you're just giving value, you would start to find people that are in your tribe, people that admire you, people that they see you as their role model. So most times they're encouraging you, and all of that. In fact, I love the people who started this whole thing with me, because sometimes then I was still starting video. Sometimes my videos will be so saturated or overexposure, and they'll come into my DM so kind, telling me that, oh Meg, I feel like this, that maybe you can change it in your next video. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And it really helped me to grow. These people didn't owe me anything. They could have as well just said it in the comment section carelessly and just walked away, or not even said anything at all. But they came to my DM like as if they're my friend, like they're my family, that they care about, anything I'm doing. And they told me, and, I listened, and I don't think most times I just get positive feedback from people or engaging. In fact, it's even now that my LinkedIn is now it's now making sense. People are now commenting, like, even if they have arguments, it's not from a point of hate. Because imagine when you come to a whole comment section and everybody is sort of in good terms with the author of the post, and then you won't even see it as something sensible to start insulting. And I'm this kind of person that I really don't have stress. If I see something I don't like, what's stopping me from deleting it? There's no headache.
Yeah,
There's no headache.
not
Just
straight?
just remove it and move on. It's social media. Some of these people you see here, they wish to be what you are. So anything they will say to make you feel less of a person, they're gonna say it. And my own job is to be deleting it or tell my VA to do that.
Yeah,
And
Jay-Z
just
said people would hate on you. People would love you and hate you just because they can't be you.
exactly. So in fact, most of the time, comment section, I don't really deal with it. Someone does it. So my own is just to put the content. It's not easy to shoot and edit yourself
True.
every month. So it's not when I finish doing that, I'll come and start looking for someone who You're on LinkedIn because you're looking for a job. Why should I be caring about what you're saying in my comment section? Please, just go and find who you pitch and pour your anger into them. Don't come and be me. I'm trying to hustle here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I really got any feedback. Maybe because I'm not yet blown. Maybe in the future I might get, but I know how to handle such. Just filter comments, some negative keywords, put it, tell the algorithm when you see this, don't show it. You know, life moves on.
You just said something. You just said you don't check your own comments.
In the sense that I check my comments, or rather, like, how do I put it? If someone is asking
Where I'm
me,
actually going to is and like you also said you can't do all the editing and
yeah,
so I'm saying you have a team that you work
yeah,
with, you and you pay them.
yeah. Are you going to work for free? Yes, no, I do. I do. I have a VA and also have an email marketer.
Okay.
So someone handles my email lists for my different brands. Then the other person focuses on, you know, the operations, posting, comments, engagement, and basically just anything I need to do that I don't want to do by myself. That's the work of the virtual assistant. So it's just a small team that can help me not to crease. It's nothing much. Trust me, it's nothing much at all. I try my best to cut out any. It's mostly contractual work. Like if I need to get maybe a website revamped or something, just outsource it. But it's not like I have a standby web designer that, nah. The only thing I have standby is what I need standby, like the VA or the email. But any other thing, just come and do your thing and go for now.
So how do you balance the academy? How do you balance the academy, your personal life, your school life, social life, relationship, if you're in one? How do you balance all these things?
Well, for this, like now my students, they're like, after I wake up and, do stuff, I just go and check in, like what's going on, who hasn't done their assignments, who should I scream at. And by the time I'm done with all of that, then it's over to MedPenPal, focus on my medical writing. Where is the money? What are we going to follow this time? What are we doing? And then from there, but this is like my routine, or this is how I balance things if I'm not in uni, if I'm not in school is not in session. By the time school is in session, of course, you know that most of your day is taken by school, tutorials, and all of that. So you have night time. You come back, you quickly get your lab reports done, put it somewhere. It's not something you're going to use 5 hours to write when you know you have people to oversee their work, clients to attend to. And then, if I'm writing, sometimes I outsource some certain things so that I can have time for myself, bring back time to rest. And my weekends, I'm the kind of person that I will sacrifice a lot for my businesses. Like, I don't go out a lot. I would turn down a lot of outings on Saturday because I know on Saturdays I have Twitter spaces, I have LinkedIn live events with different people I'm trying to collaborate with. So that means that by 6 p.m. I'm supposed to be in the house. So that means that I don't really have the luxury of time to, it's not like, I won't say my life is boring, but I'll just say that I'm in charge of where I go to.
Yeah.
If I feel like this isn't necessary, what am I going there to do? Who am I going there to talk to? I literally just have a limited amount of time in my own head to work on my business so that when I'm supposed to be resting, I'm not working. Like that's one of my biggest fears. I don't want a situation whereby I am supposed to be enjoying my money and I'm still working for it. I want a life where I sleep and earn money. So that's what I'm building. And of course, that comes with its own, everything, things that come, like you can't just go out, spend Friday nights in one place, Saturday morning, you are hungover, you can't think, you can't read the books that you were taught Monday to Friday in class, you can't work on your business, you can't work on your students, you can't find clients. So what happens next week Friday? There's no money. That's what's in my head. There's no money. So that's why I cut out a lot of, even some people who tell me, oh, come, let's do free webinars. It's not all I accept. Time is money. And in this business, it has taught me a lot that time is money. Because If I'm giving you my time, I'm not using it to find money.
Can I ask you one question? Can you buy Benz with 60 hours?
Stop it.
What do you mean time is money?
Oh my god, but yeah, don't quote like but yeah, I just feel like the only way for me to balance this thing is for
Yeah.
me to know that there are times when I should be like Netflix, watching Netflix. I don't know how many people will believe me, but I only watch Netflix when I'm eating. And I don't eat all the time because I know if I eat, oxidative reaction from eating, you feel sleepy. So I know I have work to do that day. I might just push my meal to around 5, 6. So there's no time really for me to do so many things that I would just want to. And the way my brain works is like, oh, I'm resting. I'm like, oh God, I've not done something. I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm not doing it. So that's how that way has really shaped the way I think. I feel like it's the way entrepreneurs think, but I don't like calling myself an entrepreneur because I feel like I don't have the money yet. So it's people like Elon Musk that are entrepreneurs. Me,
Don't believe her. Don't believe her. So she says she doesn't have the money yet. Amaka bought her first car at age 20. I didn't lie. At that time, I started driving my. I was going to say I was still jumping keke,
no, no, no. If you say it,
but at that time, I was driving my parents' cars already. But yeah, what advice would you give to aspiring writers? You know, especially those who want to create a niche in health, but then in general as well.
join my class. That is the advice.
That's all they are looking. Yeah, all they need.
Yes, and the whole package. Join my class, but then essentially I'll just ask you to find someone who knows what they're doing because it's easy for you to waste time doing what you're not supposed to be doing. I feel like if, for instance, like what could have taken me 1 year to figure out,
Yeah.
I literally just have a conversation with my friend and it takes me 1 minute to do it. So imagine if I didn't have anyone to discuss some certain problems with. I mean, I have been having issues with pitching people and sending pitches like you said, you don't get responses. One of my friends just showed me, oh, you can do this and that, and it to be better. And I tried it, and in that same day, I sent 4 pitches, one response. Like I saw a positive response, not necessarily directly to me, but indirectly, it showed me that it was read. So imagine I spent 1 month trying to do it on my own. And then I just had a one night conversation with someone, and the next day I saw the result. So it's something I believe that if you know you want to make it fast. Some people say if you want to make it far, go alone. If you want to make it fast, go with others, or whatever it is that they say. But my own is if you want to make it fast, follow somebody that knows where they are going. You get direction, and you would also know there are sometimes we human beings, we have these ideas, they sound and seem so good. When you say to someone, it's like you're talking rubbish. So this whole freelance writing is a very lonely, I mean, that's why I built a community. It's not just my academy. I literally have a Telegram community of 500 members. So if you have something that is stuck in your head or you want to and you can't reach me, drop it there. I have people in the community who volunteer to help, like a moderator, someone who literally her job is just to be posting jobs every single Monday. So you can't say you don't know where or who is hiring unless you're not serious. And if, for instance, what she's posting, you don't like it, tell her, oh, please, I would like you to post jobs that hire people in the relationship niche. And she would look for it. I'm not paying her anything. She volunteered. She was my student. I mean, after she volunteered, she later enrolled in my class. So these people are people who just believe in the cause and they're just helping to in any way they can because I'm giving back to that community. All these places I have and all is for them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it's something that I know that you can look for communities to join, people to follow, not necessarily be in their DMs, disturbing them that they must answer your question, following their free content, signing up to their email list like mine, Words That Pay email list. You can sign up to Words That Pay email list, and we talk about writing tips there, more than what I would naturally discuss on social media. So, yeah, you can sign up to email list, join people's communities, follow people on social media. Like it's select, not just everybody. It's not everyone that knows what they're talking about. But if you can target, this is the person I want to, I feel like you would cut, because it's not everyone that would just have the financial, bandwidth to just throw away their money to different coaches. But these things I've mentioned they're all free,
Yeah.
except when you want to go the extra mile and enroll in a course where you have step by step. But if, for instance, you're looking at things that you can do to just get started, have a feel of the whole industry. Is it right for you? You can start with these things. And by the time you go into it, I know some people who have entered into things like cloud engineering and all of that, and they're like, I don't like this. So imagine paying someone $2,000 to learn how to do some of these things, and then you're like, this thing isn't for me. But if you are in a community, you're in an email list, you follow somebody, you see what it's like to be a cloud engineer, and you're like, okay, this is something that I don't want to do. You won't go ahead to spend money to learn what you don't want.
Yeah.
So it kind of saves you money to follow and be in the midst of people who are where you want to be. So that'll be it.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Alive.
And in relation to your content, to your academy, and where does pharmacy fit in all of this?
Well, medical writing, MedPenPal. How do I put this? So medical writing, most of the B2B medical writers actually work in pharma. That's pharmacy.
Okay.
So pharmaceutical companies, they work with pharmaceutical companies. So medical writing is a part. Like in pharmacy, they taught us different branches, people in the industry, hospital, community pharmacy. And then there are journalists. There are people who are in the journalism, the marketing, medical communication. So MedPenPal is a Medcoms brand where right now it just looks like I'm, simplifying things. But then in the future, we hope to reach out and be part of these people who are doing bigger things in medical writing, and eventually maybe even open a medcoms agency, turn MedPenPal into a medcoms agency where you are working with these brands. You have writers who are health writers purely, so it's part of the plan. This is like the foundation for something bigger. And then my teaching is something I'm just doing as, oh, I enjoy this. I hope to also teach other things. So I feel like that's the whole idea. The whole idea is my school has a brand. Like my whole education is supporting a brand that's already in existence. And then the whole freelance writing coaching is just me trying to give back to anyone who is supporting me by teaching. So that's it.
Yeah, so the title of this episode is Writing My Own Story, Your Own Story, right? And, well, you're a writer. So, how do you believe writing has allowed you write your own story?
Okay. Well, if it wasn't writing, I just believe that this was something that I was meant to do. Like, my mom would say it's in Igbo, and I don't know if I
Yeah, please,
can.
you can.
So it's called Ijiwe Bupotowa, like what you used to come to this world. And for me, it has always been this whole media thing, right? So this whole writing has helped me to see who I really am. It has helped me to find what I enjoy doing. I talk to people, I get a lot of DMs. How do you stay in front of the camera? How do you not freeze when you see it? And to me, it's like, no one would believe that I use 2 hours tops to record 16 videos, sometimes 3 hours or four, maybe from the hours of 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. I'm recording videos for the month for my two brands. Some people would be like, why wouldn't you just create carousels? And I'm like, video comes natural to me. For carousels, I have to start thinking design. I don't want to do that. I've tried these things before, and I know the one that is most efficient, time saving, and I just do it, pack up, go. So writing has helped me to discover who I am, what I enjoy doing. And I feel like that's the whole idea in your own story. What is you? When they say Margaret, what comes to mind? And to me, it is creativity. Writing has helped me to become a true creator. So, yeah, I believe that should answer your question.
Margaret the creator.
Yeah, Margaret the creator.
All right. So we're done with that section of the podcast, and now we're moving into another podcast, into another section of the podcast. So I have a couple of questions here that I'm just gonna ask. And the first is, what's the most you've ever earned at a go in one paycheck?
Well, how do you mean? Like giving per article
Not
or
necessarily per article. Yeah, maybe like okay, maybe per article from any of your jobs or from a client. What's the highest you've ever earned at a go?
well, I said it in the podcast. You weren't paying attention.
I guess I must have missed
I
it.
said that it's possible for you to earn $1 per word.
Okay, so you've earned $1 per word
Yes.
for an article, and how many words did you write?
You
Let
have
me
to
bring
know
out
that.
my calculator.
Oh
Oh
my
no,
God,
any
I
amount
didn't
you
see this
call is
coming.
multiplied by one. Yeah, sure. What's the amount of words you've written?
Okay.
Because me, I used to struggle to write 500 words essay. I did
So, dollar per word, I'm written 1,000.
1,000 words.
Yes.
So that's $1,000 per article. And how long does it take you to write an article?
4 hours.
Inclusive of research.
Yeah.
So we can say you can make. Wait now, Amaka, relax. Amaka, relax. Wait. If I'm understanding you, right? I'm saying if I attend your course, right, and I learn to write, I could potentially sit down for 4 hours and potentially make at least $500 from each article.
Yes.
And they say tech is blood money. And they say tech is blood money. This is something else. I, I've never in my entire career made such an amount in 4 hours.
Yeah, well, it doesn't start like 4 hours
Well,
because
true.
when I started, it took me like maybe a day because, I have to.
I'm not sure wanted to say like 2 weeks. You said a day.
So, yeah, but
There was a time when my monthly salary was $700. So all the 9 to 5 I did for a whole month is what you spent 4 hours doing. Wow, I did change career. No, nobody can tell me nothing. I'm changing careers. I'm
So,
changing.
but
I'm changing my
yeah,
career path.
I think this is the first podcast, first speaking, first anything I'll ever do that I have said this. But yeah, it's possible. And I feel like people don't know that these things are possible. I know people who charge $2 per word, and some people charge a flat rate of $2,000. Some of my friends, like, I told you I have friends I made on LinkedIn, they used to earn $5,000 per month. Some months they won't even write anything, so it's just a contract you're being paid. So
Sorry, hold up. I'm not going to allow you just continue talking like I didn't just hear what you said. So there are also contracts that just come and then
yeah,
salary and then they
yeah,
pay you.
salary. So
and
you're
then
a staff writer. So sometimes you may not have so much to do in a month, while sometimes the work will
Yeah,
be big. But yeah,
and you still cash out. So this cash out, this sporty, this is sporty right here.
Okay, so yeah, but the thing is, there are also people who pay someone 10 cents a word. So that's like $100 to $150 per article. I mean, I've had those kind of clients. So it's not, there's no standard. Some people, it depends on
Yeah, and of course
the
how good you
company and
are
how
and how
good
you
you
can
and
value.
what you can offer. So right now I'm in the testing mode. There's something I want to test. And if it works out, of course, you would expect it to be a course on the Writing Hackers Academy on further ways that maybe established writers can upskill. based on what I have tested. So it's me doing the test. If it works, then I sell it. So that's how it works.
And I'm older than this baby. All right. So lastly, I mean, you've worked for Forbes, you've worked for WebMD, you worked for Very Well Health. Literally, you worked in all the top brands. Would you still? What would you still say? What would you say is your dream company, or the place you would still like to work, even though
The place I'll still like to work, even though what?
even though you've worked in all these places? Like, where else is there to work?
Do you get? That's the question that I
I know
sometimes
you've
ask.
also worked for Healthline.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have. So sometimes I ask myself, like, oh God, where else? But then I realize that that's the thing. You see, most of these brands, they come out with, oh, we're the best. So everybody's always looking at them. But there's some other brands out there that are doing well that you can also work with. And for the past few days, I've been doing some research and I've been like, wow, so you exist, so you have a blog, so I can help you. This is how I can help you. And it's really, really going a long way. So there are still, in fact, there are so many other health brands that are still coming, so many other health brands that are potential competitors and potent competitors to these Forbes and all of that. So they need writers. So there are still many places. It's not just, there is still more work to be done.
Okay. All right. And now we're going to the last section of the podcast, which is we're going to play a game. You're a writer, so you're going to write for us.
Ah.
Right? No, don't worry. It's going to be a very brief write-up. Right, but this time around, it's not going to be in health. It's not going to be about LinkedIn. It's not going to be about any of the things you're used to writing about.
Wow.
So you're going to write a love letter.
Ha!
You can write it to anybody. Anybody. It could be me. It could be me. I know you love me. It could be me. It could be anybody. It could be to your mom.
You decided that this is how you embarrass me. Yeah.
So yes, do you want to write it on your phone, or should I give you my laptop? Where do you want to write it? Jesus. So it could be
Blood of Jesus.
Yeah.
Blood
I'm
of
going to see
mercy.
Amaka write live.
No, this is not the kind of writing I do. See, anything that you see from here, this is not the writing I do. The kind of writing I do is one that gives me money. It's not this time, please. Oh Lord.
Yeah. So
Are you going to read it?
yeah,
Blood of Jesus.
I'm not reading. Do you want to read it yourself?
No. Okay, but I think it's better if I read it for myself because I don't trust you.
No, let me read it.
No.
I have to see it now. I have to see it now.
Tyrone.
I have to see it now. Can we? Oh yeah, guys, how far? All right, so you're done writing, yes?
Yeah.
Please, can we see what you have written?
Yeah.
Why are you editing the first? Why did you edit the top? Why did you edit the top?
Yeah, I
You know we can just shake and undo. iPhone, thank you for that feature.
Well, see, this wasn't edited. I didn't edit this. I just wrote it from the top of my mind. Jumbled words together doesn't make any sense. So if you like to put someone to this, you're on your own. I did not say I was.
Can I read this? Can I read this? Dear Ricky, what kind of voice should I use to read it?
That's why I said I want to read it, but you said no.
Okay, read.
Good. Okay. Dear Ricky, when I think about writing love letters, one word comes to mind, orny. But know this, everything I say here is true. Never have I seen someone who compliments me in the way you do. Sometimes I act in the most eccentric ways, but you look at me like you totally get it and happen to say the one thing that makes me smile. To say I love you will be an understatement because who wouldn't? Let's just say cheers to a never ending future because it will be awesome with you in it. Love, Lydia.
Amaka Etudo, the writer, everybody. That was really, really sweet. Who's Ricky?
I said that if you put anybody to this, you're on your own because, it's just make believe, right, guys?
Should I call out the name I saw when I did the undo?
No, that's just what I would call someone who that's not the person's name.
All right, we've come to the end of the podcast of this episode. And Amaka, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it for everyone to hear. You really inspire me,
Thank you.
right? And again, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you
And
for having me.
like you said, I hope we get to have you on here again sometime in the future. Bye, guys.
Bye. If you know you enjoyed this episode, why don't you like, share, especially to those people who don't believe there's money in the online space, and of course, subscribe for more so that you will know when I come back the next time. Alright guys, that's it from me. I'll see you later. Bye.